I'm 91 years old, and there's something I need to say clearly before time decides for me. For most of my life, I believed I was being sensible, careful, balanced. I thought wisdom meant knowing when not to move, when not to speak, when not to disrupt what already worked. So I learned how to stay quiet, quiet about what I wanted, quiet about what hurt, quiet about the parts of me that didn't fit neatly into the life I had built. At first, that silence felt mature. It kept things smooth, predictable. But silence has a way of growing roots. And over time, it doesn't just protect peace. It slowly replaces truth. I can't point to one moment when things went wrong. There was no collapse, no dramatic mistake. My life unfolded exactly as planned. And that's what makes this hard to explain. Because from the outside, nothing looked broken. But inside, something was quietly missing. I remember realizing it one afternoon, sitting alone after a long day. The house was still, and for a brief moment, there was nothing demanding my attention. No roles to perform, no responsibilities to manage, just me. And in that stillness, a thought surfaced that I had avoided for decades. Is this really my life? Or just the one I learned how to live? That question stayed with me, not loudly, not urgently, just enough to make me uncomfortable. So I did what I had always done. I ignored it. I told myself everyone feels this way sometimes, that it would pass, that wanting more was a sign of ingratitude. So I stayed where I was, kept doing what I knew, kept postponing the parts of me that didn't feel practical. Years moved forward quietly. And the strange thing about time is this. It doesn't warn you when it's about to change speed. One day, you look back and realize entire chapters have closed without you noticing. You don't remember the days anymore, just the patterns. Work, routine, responsibility, and somewhere in between, you lose track of yourself. I don't regret being dependable. I regret confusing dependability with self-erasure. I believed that sacrificing parts of myself was the price of adulthood, that personal longing was something you grew out of. But you don't grow out of it. You just learn how to bury it deeper. And buried things don't disappear. They wait. They show up as restlessness, as irritation you can't explain, as a quiet sadness that visits you at night. By the time I understood this, I had already spent decades living a life that made sense, but didn't feel alive. Here's what no one tells you. You can do everything right and still feel wrong, because fulfillment doesn't come from doing what's expected. It comes from alignment, from living in a way that matches who you are, not just who you're useful to. I spent many years believing that wanting more meant being ungrateful. Now I understand something different. Wanting more was my soul asking to be included, and I kept telling it to wait. Later, after this phase, after things settle down. But life never settles. It just keeps moving. At 91, I don't have the luxury of pretending anymore. There's no benefit in performing certainty, no reward for appearing composed. The truth has become simpler. What matters isn't how much you accomplished. It's how honestly you lived. It's whether you listened to yourself, whether you said what needed to be said, whether you allowed yourself to change. I look back now and see how many moments could have been different. Not bigger, not more impressive, just more real, more honest conversations, more courage in small decisions, more willingness to disappoint others instead of constantly disappointing myself. I don't blame my younger self. He was doing the best he could with what he understood. But I wish someone had told him this: you are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to want something different. You are allowed to outgrow the life you once chose. Staying the same is not loyalty. It's fear wearing a respectable mask. I see people now, much younger than me, trapped in lives they no longer recognize, staying silent because they don't want to make waves, waiting because it feels safer than moving. They think time will eventually make things clearer. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it just runs out. The years ahead of me are few. I know that. But the years behind me have taught me this. The cost of staying quiet is always higher than the cost of being honest. Not honest with the world. Honest with yourself. If you're watching this, and there's a part of you you've been postponing, a truth you keep softening, a desire you keep minimizing, I'm not telling you to change everything overnight. I'm asking you to stop abandoning yourself. Start small. Say one true thing out loud. Make one choice that reflects who you are now, not who you used to be. Because the life you're living today is teaching you something. And the question isn't whether time will pass. It will. The question is whether you'll still recognize yourself when it does. Before the last day comes, don't let silence make the decisions for you. You still have a voice. Use it.